Lord of the Rings is not just a fantasy story about adventures, but also a work that reflects profound human values. One of the greatest messages in The Lord of the Rings is the struggle between good and evil. The characters in the film, whether heroes or villains, must face the temptation of power and the choice between good and evil. The story emphasizes that evil can exist in many forms and can be alluring, drawing us in, but ultimately it leads to destruction. The film has grossed over $2.9 billion worldwide, making it one of the most successful films of all time. It won a total of 17 Academy Awards and 4 Golden Globe Awards. The film was also widely released in over 200 countries and territories worldwide. It is estimated that more than 2 billion people have watched at least one part of The Lord of the Rings globally. This is an impressive figure, highlighting the film's influence and global reach. However, in China, a country under the rule of the Communist Party, the film was not welcomed in the same way by the Communist Party of China, as known CCP. Chinese theaters suddenly became empty after the Hollywood classic trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, was replaced with Communist Party propaganda movies. A Chinese netizen posted on social media Weibo on April 6, 2021, "I have waited for almost a month for the re-release of Peter Jackson's epic. I won't go to the cinema if there's no The Lord of the Rings." Another netizen commented on the post, "My happy April is gone. It made me even feel that I shouldn't go to the cinema in May." The Chinese regime ordered all theaters to release over 10 propaganda movies every month from April to December, to celebrate the party's 100th anniversary. Each theater must show at least 2 propaganda movies 5 times per week. In general, the pre-Cultural Revolution propaganda films told stories about the CCP bravely seizing power, and that Chinese people enjoyed working hard to support the regime. Later, propaganda movies in China highlighted the CCP's victories in the anti-Japanese war, the Korean War, or as the CCP calls it, the war to resist U.S. aggression and aid Korea, and the civil war between the CCP and the Kuomintang from 1946 to 1949, as well as Chinese people's love for the CCP. Alexander Liao, a China expert and journalist, said that the mandatory screening of 100 red films launched by the CCP's publicity department is once again promoting a hatred-based ideology that actually distorts the minds of the Chinese people, especially young people, and turns them into psychotic, persecutory paranoiacs. US-based current affairs commentator Lai Yaming also said China's movie market is deformed, and no matter how much money Hollywood blockbusters can make, they still have to make way for the political needs of the CCP. However, what the Communist Party of China may not realize is that, whether or not they can control the film industry, the history and the hidden messages within The Lord of the Rings can still reveal things that they cannot control. For a long time, it has been believed that, subtly, the book or the film, although seemingly about the distant past of the people living in Middle-earth, is actually a prophecy about the future of humanity. Many commentators have pointed out that the land of Middle-earth depicted in the film closely resembles central China in the real world. The evil shadow of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, operates much like the malevolent ring. It seeks to consume the righteousness of the land and the shining light of human goodness there through violence and temptation. The One Ring in The Lord of the Rings is made of ultimate evil, originating from the demon Sauron, and has an overwhelming power of temptation. The CCP is the same. It is made of hatred and originates from evil. It also uses money, power, and all sorts of methods to tempt and corrupt people's hearts. And do you know why it is said that the CCP is made of hatred and originates from evil? First, let's take Marx as an example. As per the book The Ultimate Goal of Communism, from the editorial team of the 9 commentaries on the Communist Party, Marx was the pioneer of communism, and today the CCP is effectively implementing the most widespread form of communism in the world. A specter is haunting Europe, the specter of communism. The Communist Manifesto begins with the word specter, which surely wasn't a mere spontaneous inspiration of Marx. One could also argue that communism is similar to other ideologies, a kind of intellectual trend in society, or perhaps a failed experiment. But no, communism is not an intellectual trend, nor is it an experiment, nor is it something created by humans. Communism is the doctrine of demons, an evil spirit imposed upon mankind. It exists solely with the purpose of bringing harm to the world and destroying humanity. Marx and his followers are the human representatives chosen by the evil specter to carry out its plan, creating the communist cult on this earth. Among the Western figures most familiar to the Chinese, Marx is undoubtedly one of them. But how much do we really understand about Marx? In reality, very little. Marx was born into a wealthy Jewish family. At the age of 6, his father abandoned Judaism and converted to Christianity. Marx was also baptized in the same church as his father and became a Christian. In his early writings, Marx praised God enthusiastically, but then something mysterious happened. Marx suddenly developed an unimaginable hatred toward God, and a completely different Marx emerged. Western scholars of Marx have discovered that his transformation was influenced by Satanist followers, and he himself became a worshiper of Satan. Satan is the devil, and just this fact alone could be shocking to the Chinese. We can learn from Marx's own works about his process of spiritual corruption, as well as his inner world filled with violence and hatred. At the age of 18, Marx wrote a script titled Ulanim, in which he wrote, Ulanim, all lost, this pygmy universe collapses. Soon I shall clasp eternity and howl, humanity's giant curse into its ear. The abyss yawns gaping night to both of us. If you sink down smiling, I'll follow you, and whisper to you, down, come with me, comrade. If aught besides that frenzy could devour, I'd leap therein, though I must smash a world that towered high between myself and it. This inexplicable hatred, this uncontrollable violence from Marx, makes people tremble with fear. In another poem, The Fiddler, Marx wrote, how so? I plunge without fail my blood-black saber into your soul. With Satan I have struck my deal, I play the death march fast and free. In the poem The Pale Maiden, Marx wrote, thus heaven I forfeited, my soul, once true to God, is chosen for hell. In the poem Human Pride, Marx admits that his goal is not to improve the world, but to destroy it, and he takes pride therein. Then the gauntlet do I fling scornful in the world's wide open face. Down the giant she-dwarf, whimpering, plunges, cannot crush my happiness. Like unto a god I dare through that ruined realm and triumph roam. Every word is deed and fire, in my bosom like the Maker's own. Where did Marx's hatred towards the world come from? Marx provides some clues and invocation of one in despair. So a god has snatched from me my all. In the curse and rack of destiny, all his worlds are gone beyond recall. Nothing but revenge is left to me. I shall build my throne high overhead. Cold, tremendous shall its summit be. For its bulwark, superstitious dread. For its martial, blackest agony. In a letter Marx sent to his father, he wrote, a curtain was fallen, my holiest of holies was ripped apart, and new gods had to be set in their place. A true unrest has taken mastery of me, and I will not be able to calm the excited spirits until I am in your dear presence. Of course, the changes in Marx's mind deeply concerned his father. In a letter, he advised his son, as long as your heart retains its purity with the beat of humanity, and you do not let the devil steal away your good feelings, only then can you find happiness. Marx's mind had been corrupted, and in the poem on Hegel, he wrote in a delusional manner, since I have found the highest of things, and the depths of them also, rude am I as a god, cloaked by the dark like a god. The path through which Marx became a demonic figure is no longer a secret. A large number of Marx's works and letters, as well as many studies by Western scholars, have been made public, though communist countries deliberately ignore them. In his work Marx and Satan, author Richard Wurmbrand wrote that he once contacted the Marx Institute in Moscow and learned that Marx's works numbered over 100 volumes, with only 13 of them published publicly. At that time, what Marx truly wanted was to destroy the world, not to do something for the working class or the peasants. However, Marx was an extremely intelligent person who received a very good education, and at the same time, he harbored a heart full of hatred and violence against God, cursing humanity, and worshipping demons. All these elements came together to form the figure that the communist evil spirit sought on earth. The evil spirit chose Marx. Marx was not an atheist, as he himself practiced occultism and harbored hatred toward God. He transformed communism into an occult doctrine of atheism, aiming to use communist atheism to oppose God and fulfill the mission of destroying humanity set by the communist evil spirit. As a result, a series of tragedies emerged, exploiting the working class to cause chaos in the world to the point of overturning heaven and earth, leading to countless storms of blood and carnage. President Donald Trump has also expressed strong criticism of communism. In 2018, Trump stated that all countries around the world should oppose socialism. In 2023, he mentioned the eradication of communism. And by May 2024, Trump directly criticized Marxism, calling it a cult from hell. Have you ever wondered if there's a hidden connection between the Lord of the Rings plot and the CCP? Did you know that the destructive path both are heading toward shares eerily similar points? The Lord of the Rings is not just a fantasy story. It holds shocking prophecies about the modern world you wouldn't expect. But don't worry, this video is just the beginning. We'll continue to uncover more startling secrets reflected in the film that mirror current global events in part 2. Make sure you don't miss out, you won't want to.